Friends, family, Facebook, YouTube, we got ups. This is Ivan with the Church of Christ, One Nation, One Power, back again on the Sabbath day with a new lesson. And today's lesson will be entitled, Satan's Kingdom, the God of this world. Before I begin, I want to give thanks to the Most High, His Son Yeshua, and also the Ruach HaKodesh. I ask the Most High that He blesses and sanctify this lesson today. Before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, let's go into the sealed book of Ephraim. The sealed book of Ephraim. Translated from the Hebrew writings found on gold plates in the Americas, from the sealed records of the stick of Joseph in the hand of Ephraim. I'm going to be in a sealed portion today, and we're going to be reading lots of words of Moroni. And the reason why I'm opening up this sealed book of Ephraim is to let you know who Moroni is. Now let's read about Moroni. Behold, I am Moroni, the son of Mormon, and my father was a descendant of Nephi, who was the son of Lehi, our patriarch, who was the son of Shaphan, coming from a family of tribes from the kingdom of Judah, and of the tribe of Joseph, by the seed of Manasseh, just as one reads in Genealogy of Lehi, by his own record, described in the first part of these plates, that my father Mormon complied. Shaphan was the scribe secretary of King Josiah in the days when Hilkiah the high priest found under the altar, Salakia, of the temple in Jerusalem, the ancient records of Moses, and among them the book of the law and the sealed book itself of the things that Moses saw when he was snatched to heavenly Zion. Now Moroni, he comes from the tribe of Joseph. Moroni, coming from the tribe of Joseph, the seed of Manasseh. That information is in the sealed book of Ephraim. Now, the sealed portion. Where do we want to begin? Y'all bear with me. Let's go to chapter 68 in the sealed portion. Let's begin there. Y'all forgive me, it's midnight. Let's go to chapter 68, verse 94. Now remember, Moroni comes from the tribe of Joseph, from the seed of Manasseh. The sealed portion, chapter 68, verse 94. And now, I, Moroni, ask of you, do ye understand these words? I say unto you that I know that ye do not understand that of which Daniel had spoken, unless ye have the Spirit to give you the meaning of these things. For thus it is written, and none of the wicked shall understand, and none of the wicked shall understand. But the wise shall understand. And if ye are reading my words that are given in this record, then ye are wise and have been guided by the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. And these things which have been sealed are the things which Daniel was not allowed to write, and are the words that are closed up and sealed till the end of time. Now, let's go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jews and Gentiles, let's increase our knowledge with the help of the sealed portion. Remember, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, will lead us to this sealed book. Revelation chapter 13. Revelation chapter 13. And we're going to read verses 1 through 18 today. And I stood upon the sand of sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now, the dragon, Satan, is given the beast power. Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Now your beast will be the United States government. Let's go to the sealed portion, chapter 31, verses 66 through 68. The sealed portion, chapter 66 through 68. And John continued his word, saying, And I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Now, this is the head that represented the Roman Empire. For ye shall see how this great nation shall rise above all other nations, and wield its power throughout the entire earth. And its system of government shall eventually fall, which is what is meant by being wounded to death. But the same system of government and laws shall once again rise up on the earth, which is what is meant by his deadly wound being healed. And all the world shall wonder after this system of government. And all the world shall wonder after this beast and its laws. And they shall be led to believe that this system of government and its laws are the most righteous that have ever been upon the earth. The sealed portion, chapter 31, verses 66 through 68. Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, that dragon, Satan, which gave power unto the beast, the governments. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who was like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months, 3.5 years. Satan has received all his power, wisdom, and knowledge. Now Satan has 3.5 years to do his thing. Destroy the saints if he can do it. Now verse 6. And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Now, ladies and gentlemen, who are the saints? Let's go to Psalms chapter 148, verse 14. Let's go there real quick. Psalms 148, verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord. Now your saints, ladies and gentlemen, are the children of Israel. Now remember, Satan's got 3.5 years to destroy the children of Israel. Can he do it? Let's see. Verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, to make war with the children of Israel, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how do we get our names written in the book of life? Let's go to the seal portion, chapter 74, verses 65 through 67. '74, 65 through 67. The seal portion, chapter 74, verses 65 through 67. Behold, for this reason, it hath been written that these things shall come unto the elect, who are already written in the book of the Lamb, who are already written in the book of the Lamb, and have overcome the world because of the words of Christ, which they understand and follow in all things. Let's stop. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4. I desperately need to let y'all know who are the elect. So Isaiah 45:4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4. Let's repeat verse 65. Behold, for this reason it hath been written that these things shall come unto the children of Israel, whom are the elect, who are already written in the book of the Lamb, and who have overcome the world because of the words of Christ, which they understand and follow all things. And because the power of Satan is great upon the earth, most of the elect, most of the children of Israel, not all of them, you see, not all Israel is going to agree with the seal portion, okay? So most of them 2/3 will reject this book. Most of the elect, at the time this record shall be revealed to the world, shall be ready for these things and shall accept them with an open mind and a glad heart. For they shall read all the words of the children of men that have led up to the end of the world, and the coming of the Son of God to the earth, to prepare this earth for its place in the kingdom of the Father. And those of you who shall receive these things with gladness are commanded to teach these things unto your children in gladness, and they shall rejoice with you. Children of Israel, to get your name written in the book of life, you need to have the sealed portion. You need to have the stick of Joseph in the hand of Ephraim. If you don't have it, your name is not written in the book of life. And also, that goes for you Gentiles. If you don't have the stick of Joseph in the hand of Ephraim, the book of Mormon, and also this sealed portion, your names are not written in the book of life. Let's go to the sealed portion, chapter 1, and let's read verses 14 through 16. You know what? Let's read verses 14 through 20. I think I got some time. And it shall come to pass that when these things shall be revealed unto them, there shall be none save only a few who shall understand them and receive them in their hearts. And the Spirit shall witness the truthfulness of these things unto them. And many shall mock at these things, and many shall make fun of these things, and contend against the word of the Lord. Behold, thus saith the Lord unto those who shall mock and deny these things, let them be accursed and hence, from henceforth and forever. For they have sealed themselves eternal damnation, insomuch that I will show no greater things unto them. But those unto whom I shall reveal these things shall be laid under a strict command, that they shall only reveal unto the children of men the words which I shall give unto them. For this reason I have caused these things to be written and preserved unto the appointed time when all things will be revealed, for the salvation of mine elect. Remember, the elect are the children of Israel. Verse 17. And it shall come to pass that those who shall receive the words of the brother of Jared, and accept them with gladness, and harden not their hearts to tell, to them, Salakia, shall be given the greater portion of my word, which is my gospel of truth, until they know the mysteries of God in full. And they shall receive a new name, which shall only be known and understood by those who receive it. And they shall become my friends, and I will be their God. Now I, Moroni, do plead with my brethren, and also my sisters, yea, and even with all those who shall receive these things, who are of the house of Israel, and also those among the Gentiles who shall receive these things. Yea, I say unto you, come unto the Lord, even Yeshua HaMashiach, and he will show you, and he will show unto you the great and marvelous things of God, which ye have caused to be hidden from the eyes of the world because of wickedness and unbelief. Behold, I say unto you that when ye shall begin to rend that veil of unbelief, which causeth the Spirit of the Lord to withdraw from you, yea, when ye shall cast off the chains of the devil, with which he hath you bound, then, my beloved brothers and sisters, shall these great and marvelous things which have been hid from the foundations of the world be made known unto you. if you have these things, the sealed book, the sealed portion, if you have the Book of Mormon, the stick of Joseph in the hand of Ephraim, if you have repented, gotten baptized, and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, your name, ladies and gentlemen, is in the book of life. For those of you who do not have this, your names is not written there. Let's go to Revelations 13. And we were at verse number 8. So let's repeat verse number 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. If you lead a people into captivity, if you put people into slavery, ladies and gentlemen, you shall go into slavery. Let's go to Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. It'll be your precept. Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Let's go to the sealed portion, chapter 31, ladies and gentlemen. The sealed portion, chapter 31, and let's go to verse 62 through 68. (62 through 68). Let me mark where I need to stop. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, it's 12 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta be to work 8 o'clock. So y'all bear with me. The sealed portion, chapter 31, starting at verse 62. And if any man have an ear, let him hear. For he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Now I, Moroni, would that ye should understand that thus hath been, and is, and will be the state in which the children of men shall find themselves among all nations of the earth since the beginning. And I have previously explained unto you that Satan shall use the power that he hath over the leaders and the rulers of the nations of the earth to subdue the truth of God and slay the prophets who shall preach the truth unto them. And it is only by the sword that Satan shall be able to enforce his will upon the earth. And any nation that subdueth the will of Satan and taketh up a sword against another nation shall be destroyed by the sword. Thus it hath been, thus it is, and thus it shall always be until the Lord cometh into his glory. And for this reason the Lord hath commanded me to make a record of the histories of these nations, so that ye might see the fulfillment of all words of the Lord concerning these things. For behold, every nation that hath lived by the sword, every nation that hath lived by the sword, have died by the sword, and every nation that taketh another nation captive shall be led into captivity. Let me repeat that. And every nation that taketh another nation captive shall be led into captivity. Let's stop. Let's go to Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3. Let's read verses 1 through 8. For behold, in those days, and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and would plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, I will return your recompense upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children also of Judah, and the children of Jerusalem, have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. I will sell your sons. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Syrians, to a people far off. For the Lord hath spoken it. For the Lord hath spoken it. Let's go back to the seal portion. Chapter 31. And every nation that taketh another nation captive shall be led into captivity, according to the word of the Lord, which word have been given to all the nations of the earth through his holy prophets. And John continueth his word, saying, And I saw one of his heads as if it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. Now, this is the head that represented the Roman Empire. For ye shall see how this great nation shall rise above all other nations, and yield its power throughout the entire earth. And its system of government shall eventually fall, which is what is meant by being wounded to death. But the same system of government and law shall once again rise up on the earth, which is what is meant by his deadly wound being healed. Verse 68. And all the world shall wonder after this system of government, and all the world shall wonder after this system of government and its laws. And they shall be led to believe that this system of government and its laws are the most righteous that have ever been upon the earth. Let's stop. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 13. Now remember, if you lead a people into captivity, you shall go into captivity. The Lord hath spoken. Verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns, like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he spake as a dragon. Now remember, we got 2 horns like a lamb coming out of the earth. Let's go to the seal portion. Let's read 69, Salakia. The seal portion, chapter 31, verses 69, 70, and 71. And it is the system of government and these laws that shall be the medium for the plan of Lucifer. And John continueth his words concerning this government and its laws, or in other words, this power, saying, And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all power of the first beast before him. Remember, the Roman Empire, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 70. Now this hath reference to the great European empire, which shall eventually be divided into 10 major nations or horns, and a beast shall be among them, even a beast with 2 horns. And this beast shall have 2 horns. One shall be known as the British Empire, and the other of the horns shall be the colonial states, which shall be separated from the mainland of this empire by many waters. And these 2 nations, and these Salakia, 2 nations, those 2 horns, which are from the beast, were one in the beginning, and shall be one in the end, and shall base their system of government upon many of the laws and ideas of the Roman Empire, which government and laws were wounded to death, but then healed, are revealed by the later, are revived by the later great European empire, from which these 2 nations shall rise. And these 2 nations shall promote peace, as the 2 horns, like a lamb, represent. Nevertheless, this peace shall be the peace and carnal security into which Satan shall lure them. You know what? Let's read verse 72. And John gave another representation of this, in which he wrote, saying, And there came one of the 7 angels who had the 7 veils, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, and whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth had been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, had been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. That would be the European doctrine of the Bible. Lies. Everybody in the world is being made drunk off the lies of the European nation teaching the Bible. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 28, verse 1. Isaiah chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 1. Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that overfloweth with wine. The European doctrine. Behold, the Lord have a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hell and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. The crown of pride, the drunkards of Ephraim shall be trodden underfoot. The drunkards of Ephraim shall be trodden underfoot. And the glorious beauty which is on the head of the fat valley shall be a fading flower, and as the hasty fruit before the summer, which when he that looketh upon it seeth, wow, it is yet in his hand, he eateth it up. In that day shall the Lord of hosts be the crown of glory, and for a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people, for a spirit of judgment to him that sitteth in judgment, and for strength to them that turn to battle to the gate. But they also have erred through wine and through strong drink, are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way. Though strong drink, they err in vision. They stumble in judgment. How? Why? We've been taught by the Europeans the Bible. We've been drunken of the wine of Babylon. Ephraim, it's time to wake up. The Most High is calling us. Let's continue verse 8. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place to clean. Verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line. Here a little and there a little. For stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are covered, that are overcome with wine. European doctrine. Let's continue. Verse 12. You see, family, the Most High is using the tribe of Ephraim in the last days to preach this gospel. And we need to read this line upon line, precept upon precept, Ephraim. We are the chosen ones, Ephraim. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he have power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they shall make an image to the beast. Damn. The European Empire has made an image to the beast. Let's repeat this. Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they shall make an image to the beast, that they shall make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power, Salakia, to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You see, if you don't worship this European God, the European nation will kill you. Let's continue. Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the mark of the beast. You see, even I got that mark on my right hand. And you will find out that you also have the mark on your right hand. Let's go to the sealed portion, chapter 32. And let's read verses 37 through 42. And ye shall see how the God, Salaki, verse 37. And ye shall see how the God of the last days, who is Lucifer, has lifted himself up and have deceived those upon the earth to such an extent that they shall think that he is their father in heaven, and that the true Lord is the devil. And one of the ways that ye might know that these things is by the money that ye shall have among you in the last days. And if you look at this money, ye shall notice that which Satan hath caused you to inscribe thereon, even the words, in God we trust. Look at your money, ladies and gentlemen, your dollar. And you're going to see in God we trust on it, even your coins. Verse 39. And do ye trust in this God, even the money on which ye have inscribed these words? But in the Lord do ye not trust? And ye have been led to believe that his ways are of the devil. And this money shall become the thing that shall take you away from the gospel of Christ, even that ye shall forget about his words and put your trust in this money. And John wrote concerning this saying, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have the mark of the beast. We all participate in this economy. We all spend money. We pay rent, mortgages, car notes, insurance, get food, take care of our families with this money. All of us have the mark of the beast on our hands. Let's go to the sealed portion. '71. And let's read 9 through 12. And in that day, even in the day when these things shall come forth unto you, Satan shall have great power over the whole earth. And the people of the last days shall believe that they are worshiping the Father. In reality, they are worshiping Lucifer and following the course that he hath set for them by his power and according to his plan. And in that day, Satan shall be the God in whom they trust. And Satan shall be the God in whom they trust. And Satan shall convince the world that he is not the devil, but that he is the God of the world. And he shall also convince them that the Lord is not Christ, but that he is the devil. And they shall change the words of Christ and misinterpret them and begin to live their lives according to the commandments which they shall receive from their God, who is Satan, who is Lucifer. And by the words of Christ, they shall not abide. And any who do abide by the words of Christ shall be mocked and persecuted and judged at. The works of Christ which they do are the works of the devil, and the true Christ being the devil unto the world, according to the convincing power that Satan hath over them. Verse 12. And I have already explained unto you the meaning of the mark of the beast and the number of his name, and these things pertain to gold and silver, which is money, and the possession of those who dwell upon the earth. And it shall come to pass that all the nations of the earth shall be in pursuit of money and lands and the fine things of the world. And in their desires for these things, they shall separate themselves into these great nations that shall make war with one with another, and cause that many of the inhabitants of the earth shall perish in the wickedness of their hearts. Now, let's go to 71 verses 40. No, matter of fact, let's read verses 16 and 18. I got about 3 minutes left. And now John explaineth all these things in Revelation that he hath given concerning the last days and the end of the world. Yea, all of the holy prophets who have seen the last days have testified of the great wickedness that shall exist upon the whole earth in the last days. Let's drop down to verse 18. And the prophets were forbidden that they should reveal these things in their visions, except it be through symbolisms, so that only the righteous might receive their words and understand. Let's go to same chapter. We're going to drop down to verse 40 through 45. Let's see if I can read this real quick. Oh my gosh. And the people of this nation shall be likened to the Romans, who thought of their nation as the greatest nation upon the face of the earth, and their Caesar, basically the president, as the most powerful leader upon the earth. And like unto the Romans, it shall have the power of its armies and its navies to destroy any nation that cometh up to battle against it. And it shall go to battle with all the nations of the earth, even against those that raise up a standard which is contrary to the standard that they have set for the world. And the standard that they shall set shall be a standard of material pleasures and easiness of all living, and a promise to the whole earth that all can be rich and powerful like unto it, if the people will fall down and worship the beast whom it worshipeth. And the people of this nation, like unto the Romans, shall believe that their nation is a united. And the people of this nation, like unto the Romans, shall believe that their nation is a nation united under God, and that it cannot be divided or conquered because of its great armies or navies. And it shall deceive the people into believing that it offered liberty and justice for all. Now, even these words which I have written shall be the pledge of allegiance to this nation. And those that worship this nation shall say with their own mouths, and this pledge they deceive themselves, and know not that they are pledging their allegiance to Satan. So when you say they pledge allegiance and you placing your hand here and over your heart, you're pledging allegiance to Satan, okay? And this they do because they have his mark on their right hands and also on their foreheads, and have denied the true words of Christ, and follow after a God and a Christ that have been given unto them by Satan. For he is the great deceiver and the beast and the false prophet, who shall issue forth the flattery of his words unto the people, even those words that the people will accept. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a blinking light. I just read Revelations chapter 13, verses 1 through 18. Breaking it down for you guys, okay? I did have another message today.